Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Moa aka Swedish Whiskey Girl, and today we're going to start an experiment. So I fairly recently got Cody a gift of these Whisky Snippers, which basically are wood chips that you can use to mature spirits. It is this one here, the Whisky Snippers, that is from used Scottish whiskey barrels. You also have gin snippers in this little jar, and you have a rum snippers in this jar. And I thought we could do a little experiment with them. This is going to take a few months, so I need to start it today. It is September right now, middle of September, so you'll see that it'll be a bit different time periods that we could see. So the instructions on these Whisky Snippers says that you should add a liquor other than whiskey. You should store for a couple of months, filter before drinking, enjoy and experiment. But what we're going to do is I'm actually going to season these because they don't smell like much and they might bring you a lot of flavour. But I want to try and see if we can mature whiskey, even though they're saying that you primarily shouldn't use whiskey, you should use other types of spirits. So I'm gonna season these for a few weeks, I think, with this, which is, let's see if I can say this, it's buitenverwachting. Perhaps. It's basically like Sauternes, but from South Africa. Okay, it's a really lovely sweet wine. And I'm going to put that into this, leave it for a bit, make sure the oak kind of soaks up the flavours, hopefully. And then I am going to put some whiskey in this. And the whiskey we're going to use, I have chosen a whiskey that is quite light in style, I think a whiskey with a flavour profile where I think there's room to notice a change quite quickly. And also a lovely whiskey. And that is the Aquavitae. This is the classic. It's basically like the American oak, but an older kind of bottling of it before they changed to what the releases they have today. It is triple distilled, matured in bourbon oak casks, so it doesn't have any big dominant flavours they kind of take over, which is why I thought this would be a good one. But I also want to try the gin snippers because they smell really nice. Let's see if we can. I wouldn't say they smell a lot like juniper or gin per se, but they do have like an oaky herbal note to them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out some of this spirit. This is my homemade aquavitae. When we were at Lindor's Abbey Distillery, we got to do the apothecary tour where you get to make your own aquavitae. So you take some different spirits and kind of mix your own. And I had a base of sweet, spicy and herbaceous spirit base, and then topped with coriander and raspberry spirits. So yeah, it sits at 40% ABV. It was bottled on the 18th of February 2020. So I am and distilled on the 5th of December 2019. So we'll take a little bit of this and then I'll try it with the gin snippers because this isn't whiskey, it's aquavitae. And then we'll try and see what this can do to it in a few months, I guess. So I guess I'll see you and my future self in a few months. And hello again. It is about, I think, 2.5 months later. I think it's been 10 weeks since I did my little experiments, and I now have my Whisky Snippers and my whiskey and my aquavitae that's been maturing. So let's have a little taste. What are we going to start with? Let's start with the whiskey. So you've already watched it, but Aquavitae. We're going to have a little sip of it right next to the matured version, or our home matured version, to see what it's like. And yeah, I used the Whisky Snippers for this one. It's going to be very curious to see what this is like. It's definitely gained some colour, as you can probably tell by looking at them. See what's happened. And I think when you get these, I don't think I said that before, but you get these little jars of the Snippers, and they're good for one bottle of 350 mils, which is the size of the bottle that you get in that set that I have tried, which I don't know if I said, but retails at around £20. So we'll have a sip of the the matured but our non-home matured Auchentoshan, the original product. Yeah, it's very much Auchentoshan. It's that kind of fruity, malty, fresh, quite sweet, easy to like. And now we'll compare it, starting on the nose, with the home matured version. There's definitely a difference there. It's maltier on this one. The original one. It's like malty and like almost a little bit cardboardy or like Dunwich warehousey, that kind of damp, earthy maltiness. And this other one is more, well, how am I going to explain this? It's soft, like woolly. Sorry, that probably doesn't make any sense. But it's this kind of murky, almost like it would be a touch of sherry. Like sweet, fruitier. But it's like you've soaked the cardboard in fruits. I know cardboard might not be a very appealing tasting note, but it's that kind of malty essence of it, which makes sense in my head. Okay, let's have a taste. We'll have another sip of the Auchentoshan, just to remind ourselves of what it tastes like. And now this matured version. Interesting. I mean, I know the Whisky Snippers, when they describe them, are meant to mature something like a clear spirit, like a vodka or a gin. I wouldn't say it's... I would say it works with whiskey. It's just different. It's woodier. Almost like I think it's a slight... It just has some darkness about it, so it would maybe make me think of a sherry seasoned American oak cask that hasn't been seasoned for that long, so it just gives you a tiny touch of something. Still the same kind of character underneath. I think the maltiness has changed into more of a woody character. It's not overly matured. I don't know what would happen if I left it for longer. Maybe I will experiment with it, just leave it for another month or two just to see what happens if it kind of over matures, because I'm guessing this, because it's going woody or woodier, which I think some people would appreciate in the flavour, it might be heading down a woody path, which means eventually you're going to reach a point where you don't really, where you've over oaked it. But yeah, quite interesting. I'm going to get Cody in to try this as well and see what he thinks, but first we're going to try the aquavitae as well, and just to see what happens. And I have my little here. It's what I remember, and it has this kind of raspberry note. Almost gin-esque, quite herby. And then we have the matured version. It's gone more mellow with the addition of those chippers. It's the gin... What did I call it? The gin snippers. It's still very much the same character, but the aquavitae that isn't matured just has kind of fresh notes about it, and this just feels a little bit more landed. I'm not sure if it's in a good way or bad way. It's just a different way. I wouldn't say, I don't nose this and go, oh, what's this? Or I don't nose and go, oh, this is much better, but it's just different. The same essence, but with a touch of that oak roundedness in a way. I'm just trying to mentally prepare for this. I feel like has changed. It's rounded out. There's a few sharp notes in the aquavitae which I feel have like rounded out with the oak. That's very interesting. It's different for sure. This is a really fun experiment. I feel like these two are they? Do you know what? I don't really know if I can tell myself. So I think I'm gonna get another mind in this and see what he thinks. Just a second.
So what are we doing?
Okay, so I need you to help me try these. This is, we have the Auchentoshan Classic, we have Auchentoshan that we've matured for 2.5 months, 10 weeks I think, in Whisky Snippers. Then we have the aquavitae, my aquavitae with raspberry and coriander, which has also been matured in gin snippers. And we're just looking for the differences.
Okay.
Yeah. Normal Auchentoshan and Whisky Snippers Auchentoshan. I've already said a few tasting notes which you already know, but he doesn't. Because I lock him up in the bedroom when I record because I don't want him to sit here and watch me. So yeah. So I'm just curious to see, because Cody's of course my boyfriend and he's the one who's taught me a lot of the things that I know about whiskey.
Interesting.
Get a difference. It's just good to get another nose in this because it's all, quite tricky to kind of put words into what the differences are.
What was the wine this was with?
Oh yeah, I forgot that. So this has been in that Sauternes-esque South African wine. So the snippers have been infused with that wine. I totally forgot about that. See, that's why it's good to have another person here.
It's pretty nice on the nose actually.
I know, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I thought it was a bit, like the maltiness had just toned down a bit. Do you want me to pour more into that glass?
This one.
Yeah?
Sure.
Just to get proper nose.
I think the influence of the wine is really come through. It's quite honeyed, very sweet.
That is interesting.
Citrus as well.
Obviously I forgot that I did that. But yeah, now that you say it, you get that elegance of a wine cask. Or wine snippers, I guess. Because I think you can definitely get on the palate as well. You can still get this Auchentoshan, because Auchentoshan has this kind of malty smoothness underneath.
Interesting.
For me, it was like you'd taken the maltiness and kind of rounded it off.
Yeah. It's quite bitter.
Yeah, but this one's more malty bitter, I think. The original Auchentoshan. That is a different, I guess, a woodier element. But I don't think it's unpleasant.
No. Weird.
Yeah. Because you're used to this Auchentoshan. Yeah. Well, let's see what we think of the aquavitae. Because that one is... Because these snippers are actually not meant for whiskey. They're meant for a clear spirit, like a vodka or a gin. So the difference, I think, between the aquavitae, which is unmatured, and this matured version, quite interesting. So this wonky glass, you can't see it, but it's kind of, you push the Glencairn together. It's a fault in the production, but we like it because it's a bit weird.
I always thought it got melted in the dishwasher at work.
Oh, maybe that's what it did. That's quite
I don't know if that makes sense.
That's quite warm though.
Yeah, I don't think that makes sense. Now I'm thinking about it. So which one's which?
That's the unmatured one, and that's the matured. You can see the difference in colour. I'll show you when he's trying. You can see that.
What is your what was it?
My aquavitae.
Yeah.
It's coriander and raspberry with a herbaceous and fruity base, I think, primarily. That's what I think.
Was this just with wood, or did you put something in this?
No, they were the ones that are called gin snippers. So I'm guessing they're like pre-infused.
Okay.
I haven't done anything
So you
to
didn't do
them,
anything to this.
but they're called gin snippers. Hey. Also different.
Yeah. I think the base character comes through, but it's a little bit more woody. That's mainly the difference between those two. I feel like on the nose they're reasonably similar compared to those ones, but that's probably because of the wine.
Yeah, I think some of the sharper, like youthful notes have calmed down a bit in this one. Because obviously the unmatured aquavitae is quite youthful and grassy and quite like new makey in a way, because of course it's made with new make, but it's
interesting comparison.
The difference between these two is far more dramatic.
interesting. Which one do you prefer?
I think the Snippers one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts of Auchentoshan generally? Obviously, this is the classic, which is quite similar to the American Oak, I believe, as far as I know.
Auchentoshan's a nice example of an easygoing lowlands whiskey. If you want something quite fresh and light and delicate, it kind of fits all those sort of bubbles. So I'm sure it'd go quite well with wine. So I think it's probably why it works. What's the Amazon release at the moment? Is that not Pinot or something like that?
The white wine one, Sauvignon Blanc. I think.
Oh, it might be. Yeah.
But it's so you prefer the Snippers Auchentoshan, and between the aquavitaes.
Maybe yours. I think the original one. I think I prefer it without the.
It's a masterpiece.
Without the wood influence, yeah.
Interesting. I was ready to say the opposite, but I also like the aquavitae as it is because it's fresher in a way. With the Auchentoshan, I think I also prefer the Snippers one. But we also have a really old bottle, so it could be that.
Could be that.
Yeah. But do you think it's worth seasoning your own Snippers? If you're getting this as a gift, maybe you would, and you're getting it for a whiskey enthusiast, maybe advise them to season it, or would you just go with it, whatever you got in? Because this set was with the gin Snippers, the Whisky Snippers, and the rum Snippers that we actually still have here, which we haven't tried yet. Because this was a gift for you.
It was, yeah.
That I took over.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably try and season it because
It's more fun.
it's more fun.
Yeah.
You know, you can pour in some cheap Tesco's PX or
Which is
Oloroso
actually
or
really
whatever.
nice.
Yeah, and then leave it for a bit. If you're willing to wait for it, then it's pretty good.
Yeah, because you could use it for a lot of different things, couldn't you? You could use like a sweet wine like Sauternes. You could use PX. A lot of people like sherry whiskies. You could try a red wine perhaps, or a white wine. You could try anything you want. I mean, the SWA is not going to come knocking at your door, are they? We'll see.
Probably not.
In the next episode. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's good. So would you recommend this as a gift to someone?
Yeah.
Who do you think will enjoy it?
Someone who likes their whiskey or any other kind of spirit, it's just a little bit of fun, isn't it? As long as you're willing to wait, then, you know, it's kind of like having your own cask, but not as
In a
expensive.
smaller version. Yeah. Well, we'd love to hear what you guys think. Have you tried any whiskey snippers? Do you think we should do something with the rum snippers? And do you have a kind of an idea for us, perhaps? Or do you have a recommendation for what I should get Cody this Christmas that he'll actually get to keep for himself? And of course, if you like the channel, you'd like to support us, then I'd be absolutely over the moon if you consider using the affiliate links. You'll find them in the little section here below, and of course the links to my other social channels if you're curious about those. And I'm hoping Cody will come on and be a guest on some of the other videos, and if you have some ideas for those, or if you would like to see more, let us know in the comments. We are planning a food pairing video, and it's great to have his nose and palate and mind helping out. But as always, we hope you've had an absolutely wonderful day. Sláinte
Skål.